Are we list building tonight? Is that the plan? I completely forgot the plan. Hello. Welcome to this Talky Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Witness SEO. Did we say we're list building? I mean, what a banger of a video at the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's always nice playing with Luton. He was very gentle. Yeah, so did that. I've done some hobbying, but did I say some list building? People in the chat, Soul Hunter, Jackerswood, Wraith Raider, Luke, Heresy Squat. Welcome to hello. Hi Sam. Thank you for coming along to this Talky Tuesday live stream. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all those things. I'm supposed to say this as well. If you're watching this as part of a VOD later on, hello the VOD squad. Drop me a message. Become a channel member. And if you become a tier 3 channel member, you get an extra battle report every single Wednesday. It was a great battle. It was a lovely battle report, wasn't it? I'm glad you enjoyed the battle report. I enjoyed making it. Luton enjoyed playing it as well. Obviously, we were never going to play the primary. I'm in a heavy support squad building. That's close enough. I don't know what that means. Obviously, we was never going to play the primary, secondary. What is it called? The Pariah Nexus and Leviathan type mission decks. I did play Luton before, and we didn't film it, and we did play one of them, and it was we'd like making up our own things, making up our own rules. We don't need no rules. We'll make up our own characters and stuff. He sent me, yeah, I love how he created his own characters as well. It was nice. He sent me a thing through, said, hey, do you mind if I run this special character? And I was like, no, you're Luton. You can do whatever you want. You can come up. You can get whatever you want. He says, well, I want to do 2,500 points because 2,500 points is 2,000 points with a cherry on top. You can bring this detachment and then bring along a knight. You can bring a thing and then bring along a big tank. You can do a thing and then bring along a Seroptech heavy construct. And I was like, no, Luton. You're Luton. You can do whatever you like. Let's do 2,500 points. Let's bring along a named character. He sent me through the card through and said, hey, this is the idea of the named character I've got. Have you got any feedback? And I was like, that's lovely. That's my feedback. He's lovely. And then before the game began, he was looking at it again going, I think he's a bit toned up. We need to tone it down a little bit. I was like, you can do whatever you like, Luton. It's fine. And just have a lovely game, roll some dice, have some fun, try and tell a story. Yeah. Blake Hansen, I built a jump Praetor with command squad, all lightning claws and 12 Armentura Terminators for my new Light Lord's army picks in Winter's Discord. I will check it out. An all lightning claw command squad has a lot of attacks with a banner. That's a lot of attacks. You're looking at 6s to rend to get through the nasty stuff, so I wouldn't throw that in on anything other than I wouldn't chuck it into Terminators or Dreadnoughts. They'll get hurt a little bit. How do we feel about 2v2 games? Fun or hectic? I think 2v2 games can be lots of fun. I mean, if two of you got 1,000 points and the other two people got 1,000 points, then it's a 2,000 point game. It takes the same length of times. If you're doing a 2,000, everyone's got 2,000 points, then it's fine. It's fine. I wouldn't necessarily do, again, Pariah Nexus or Leviathan if you do 2v2s. I'd make up your own narrative with your own thing. Scoring, that's what I would do, rather than play the Pariah Nexus thing. But 2v2 games, I like 2v2 games. I have a lot of fun. More people, more banter. Will I play more games at 2,500 points? And am I tempted to make my own custom character? Sort of is the answer to all of that. I play games. I mean, there's a 4,000 point game coming out of the weekend. I did a 3,000 point game of Knights v Knights recently. I do mess with the formula quite often. Horus Heresy is supposed to be 3,000 points, but most of the time I'm playing more than 3,000 points, not 3,000 points. So in Heresy, I mess with it. In 40k, I do 2v2s or all against alls. So the reason why it's sort of is because, I'm happy to. I think 2,500 points is a good number. to have a good, fun game. It allows you to bring that extra chunk. Luton is not wrong there. So I'm more, I am tempted to play more of them or more weird games. I like weird games. Am I tempted to make my own custom character? No. But I put a lot of characters on the back. I have a lot of named stuff, and all my factions have all got a bit of lore to them. So I recommend to anyone, name a character, name their war band or their army or their faction, pick a place, just pick a place where they're from, pick an enemy that they really hate, give one guy a name, and then that's all you need to do, and the narrative starts flowing from there, you know. Playing for fun, you're supposed to smash your opponents. I know, I'm sorry. We are, Damn Legion, having a good stream. It's just started. I don't know if I'm having a good stream yet. The chat, is this a good stream yet? Are we having a good stream yet? I'm not sure. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. You're thinking of doing a 2v2, was offered the chance, now you sold me on the idea. Yeah, if it's 1,000 points or 2,000 points, it's absolutely fine. Do a 2v2, but don't do it like the... Don't do Pariah Nexus. Put like 4 objectives down or 5 objectives down on the table and score them at the end of the game and make each of them D3 points or something like. Eternal Crusade is up to your eyes and blood arrangement. It's nice. The 10 out of 10 for the stream so far, a 9.5 stream. Okay. There is no Librarian Dreadnought outside Legends, no. Which means unless you're going to a tournament or an official Games Workshop event, you don't care anyway. I didn't care when we played Luton. He brought his own character along. We played 2,500 points. If it's in Legends, who cares? Unless you're going to a tournament or a Games Workshop event, it doesn't matter. It's fine. I just started collecting Warhammer. You're making Tome Keepers. I have some silly ideas about a bookcase. Okay. Nice. Bookcase. Nice. Good. Welcome to the hobby. Share your silly ideas on the Reddits or in my community. Share them. Talk about them. Shout about them. I'd love to hear silly ideas. Silly ideas are good. Silly ideas is why Games Workshop exists in the first place. Warhammer 40k, that was a pretty silly idea. Dwarfs and elves in space. Silly idea. And look where we are. Evening, Wolfboot Chronicles, aka Stylus. Don't know if we need to tell you to stay on target, as not sure. I don't think we agreed a target today. I wanted to talk about the banger of a video at the weekend and give you my thoughts and things on that. I was going to talk about, we do need to do some list building at some point, because I'm thinking about building a new type of Space Marine army from the ground up, mainly Gravis and Scout, or Gravis and Fast, like slow and fast, hammer and anvil, that sort of thing. So we'll get onto that in a minute. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video at the weekend. It was really good fun. It was easy writing a narrative with Luton as well, just talking through, because he just started adding stories. He just started adding the story, and I just started adding the story as I go anyway. Just naturally the story starts pouring out of us like warm sweat. There is a Black Templars, and a Black Templars army. No, not Black Templars. I'm not going to go with the Black Templars. A custom Space Marine chapter again. Chunky Gravis armor would match well with the Terminator. Yes. Doesn't Dark Angel fit well with a hammer and anvil because they only have tanky blade guards? It's... Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, I want a new Space Marine Legion. I've got a chunk of Terminators already. I've got a chunk of Blade Guard veterans already for the new Legion. So 2 squads of 6 Blade Guard, 2 squads of 10 Terminators, 1 Assault, and 1 Shooty. I've got that. And so we can continue with the conversation last week, which is, what do we add to the chunk? What is good? And it kind of devolved into, we're adding everything. But I can't add everything. Need to add some specific things Next, hi Daily Dice. Check out Daily Dice on YouTube for great Warhammer 40k content, battle reports and things. You're playing Black Templars for our game next month. Yeah, we've got a couple of games next month. Paint up those Black Templars. Your Black Templars are gorgeous, Daily Dice. And hopefully the rules don't change too much. So what colours? It's the green and black. It's the Dark Angels list that I want. I've got a specific Dark Angels list from 9th edition, 8th edition, from an edition way back, and it was 2,000 points, and that's all it is. This green and black force. And they were Dark Angels. But now that chunk is about 1,400 points. So I can't field it anymore. So let's add to it. And we're working with a foundation of Blade Guard and Terminators. And my mind went, we'll add some Gravis to the chunk. That's where my mind went. But I'm up for suggestions. Hi, Dats and Des. Thank you for your 26 months. Your hovercraft is full of eels. It's nice to have a hovercraft, isn't it? Oh, the Tawny list. Yes, that Tawny list. See, that's 1,465 points, that Tawny list now. That's what Games Workshop does. They make everything cheaper in the points. So to field a 2,000 point list, you need to buy more stuff. It's like a tried and tested business method that they've been leaning on for years. 3 Plasma Redemptors, obviously. 3? 3? 3 seems a bit up. 3, what do we think of 3 Plasma Redemptors, chat? To add to the chonk list? Or are we thinking 2? I'm thinking a couple of Redemptors need to go in there, absolutely. So we've got some Blade Guard, we've got some Terminators, 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts with Plasma. Is that a good idea? Because I also want to add on top of that, 2 Redemptors, 2 Brutalis. 2 Redemptors, 2 Brutalis. That sounds nice. It sounds nice. Blade Guard Aggressors Redemptors. Yes. 2 Redemptors, 2 Brutalis is some threat. I'm writing that. 2 Brutalis, 2 Redemptors. I could see me fielding that list, and I could see me fielding a list with 2 Brutalis and 2 Redemptors, and I can also see myself fielding a list on the channel sometimes where it's just got the 2 Brutalis sometimes chunking forward, or the 2 Redemptors chunking forward, or one of each. 2 of each gives some nice. I'm writing it down. Look, 2. Bruty boys. 2. Redemption arcs. We got them down. Redemption arcs. Bruty boys. That's a nice idea. This is good. We're not exactly building a list, but what works, what would fit well, and then the list. It doesn't. When we don't have any point limits here, we don't have no rules. There are no rules, guys. It's like what would look, what would fit. Well, you could do all the different Space Marines that add bonuses, like different Storm Speeders and Curses to beef up some aggressors. Yes. Dreadnought drop pods, no. No Dreadnought drop pods. It's Legends, and also that's Heresy. We're sticking to stuff. Oh yeah, here's your Night Lancer. No. 2 Brutal. No. Look, here's the thing. So here's your a chonk list. We've got Terminators, we've got Dreadnoughts, we've got Blade Guard, and it all has to be Primaris. New stuff. I want new stuff, because the 13th, my current Space Marine chapter, it's like 80% firstborn. So it's the new stuff, the Primaris stuff, like Redemptors, like Brutalis, like. What about this idea then? You do the different Space Marines that add bonuses, like the different Storm Speeders and Incursors to beef up some aggressors. What sort of Storm Speeders that buff and Incursors to talk to me about these buffs? Because also a couple of aggressors in a Redemptor's nice. But Redemptors with aggressors in it. If you have 2 Redemptors with 2 units of aggressors in, is a lot of points. It's a lot of points. 10 jump marines led by a captain or chaplain. 10 jump marines led by captain or chaplain. Chaplain in Gravis armor, aggressors and eradicators. Captain in Gravis armor. Add some range chonk to your melee chonk. Range chonk is a good idea. ATV with melter and a bike squad might pull. Are you teaching? No. I mean, Deathwing Knights are great, but I'm trying to stay away from Legion specific stuff for now. Thank God for the streamers today. I need an hour from National Existential Dread. Okay. Thunderstrike gives +1 to wound to other units. Very nice. Is that the one with... That's the one with all the guns, right? Lots of guns. Like there is a Storm Speeder that gives +1 to wound. There is a Storm Speeder that strips cover. And curses give +1 to hit. It's about aesthetics. Yes, Daily Dice. It's about the feel. I definitely think load the Redemptors out with different loadouts. They both look unique. Maybe one with plasma, one. Look, if I do the 2 Redemptors, they'll be magnetized. So that's a good choice, yeah, to load them out differently. So I could put either the guns on or the... See, I'm really tempted for the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon now that the Redemptors have after Space Marine 2 when he shoves it inside that Hellbrute and bzzz and buzzes. It's cool. I mean... Yeah, that needs to be... But no, magnetized Redemptors, 2 gladiator tanks. Fire Marines and fire aggressive. Right, let's rewind, guys. Let's rewind. So a couple of things that you've set up above piqued me interest. Bikes with ATVs is a nice idea. Assault guys with the chaplains is... Let's hit Redeemers. Yeah, let's restart. Let's restart. So, along with the chonky stuff, the Dreads and the Blade Guard and the Terminators, are we bringing some Assault Marines with some Chaplains as well? Are we doing that? Or is the speed... And so if I'm doing that, I'm going to add a couple of those units. So sometimes I run 1, sometimes I run 2, sometimes I don't run them at all. Or is the speed going to be provided by bikes and ATVs and things like that? You know, what about an Allied Knight? We're not going to get onto Knights yet. I mean, I've got Knights. That's the thing. You know, what about an Allied detachment? I've got Knights, so I can chuck in a Knight at any point into my Space Marines or any Imperial Force for that matter. So I don't need to think about Knights. You have the Blade Guard, so I'd make it 6 Blade Guard, led by a Blade Guard Ancient in a Land Raider. There is the Anvil. That's a nice thing. Yes, in a Land Raider. But I don't want a Land Raider. I want it to be Primaris. So it's going to be a Redemptor. Basically, I need a Redemptor, don't I? If I've got 6 Blade Guard, then that's a Redemptor. And then if I'm getting 1 Redemptor, I might as well get 2 Redemptor. Bikes seem more fitting with the theme. Run some Outriders. No, don't use Outriders. Bikes ATV was the idea I said, lol. So I'm biased towards that speed. Heavy Intercessors. So, Assault Intercessors with Chaplain or bikes. I always play Rule of Cool, but then again, Repulsor tanks are officially Land Raider variants, so Repulsor, never see heavy. Repulsor is a transport. 14 slots. Repulsor has got 14 slots. So we're looking at 2 Repulsors. That's what we're looking at. Aren't we? We're looking at 2 Repulsor. Not Centurions. Centurions are firstborn. We're sticking with Primaris only. Okay. So, 2 Brutalis. 2 Redemptors. 2 Judaseers. Need some characters to go with the Blade Guard if we're running them. 2 Repulsors. We're going to get 2 of everything. Just in case, because it allows the mix. Because I can do like one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this. Or a couple. You know what I mean? But 2 Repulsors seemed like a must with this because we're gonna have some Blade Guard inside of them. Are we getting aggressors? So 1 Repulsor Executioner. The Executioner has transport as well. Yeah, but the Repulsor Executioner's got a transport of like 6, right? Lots of cats. We need lots of cats. Executioner doesn't have 40 slots though. No, Repulsor Executioner has the 6 slots. which is, I don't even know if you can bring units of 5 Blade Guard now, because Blade Guard only take up 1 slot, right? Because they're not heavy or anything, but you don't attach them to anything. Hey, Japan! Attend the Gate of Destiny narrative event in Prague this weekend. Oh, you did. You attended the Gate of Destiny narrative event in Prague, and it was awesome. Now time to prepare for King of the North. Nice, man. I'm glad you went to a lovely narrative event in Prague. That was cool. Sultan was in Prague recently with his girlfriend. He went to Prague, and yeah, he said he loved it. My wife's been there. I've never been. You have a very limited access to chonk with Primaris only. You're saying that, damned Legion, but heavy intercessors, eradicators, jumpy dudes, aggressors, these are all chonky. All the Gravis stuff. I think it's 7 slots. I think it's 6 slots in a Repulsor Executioner. Repulsor with Blade Guard and Lieutenant. Yeah. 6 slots is Plate and Transport. That's 5 Stern Guard and the character. Yeah. Tech Marine for the extra vehicle bus. Tech Marine's a nice idea. They're quite chunky. 6 Aggressors and a Biologist and a Redeemer slaps. It does. 6 Aggressors and a Biologist and a Redeemer does slap. They do slap. There's so many choices. Okay, we've got some repulsors. We've got some dreadnoughts, and we've got some close combat stuff, right? It's 6. The Impulsor went to 7 and Repulsor went to 14. It is 6, I've checked. What is this? It is 6. I've checked. Impulsor went to 7 and Repulsor went to 14. Right, for transport capacity. Yeah, so the Repulsor is fine, but you can't attach characters to Blade Guard if you're putting them in a Repulsor execution. When I started playing, I made a list of all Gravis heavy intercessor. Yeah, see? Double Gladiator Lancer. Double Gladiator Lancer. Okay. Question, guys. Convert the Iron Father into Tech Marine so it matches Gravis. Yeah. Having a Tech Marine in the backfield is a nice idea. We'll get to HQs in a minute. Double Gladiator Lancer. Someone mentioned ATVs. So if you're running a list and it's got 1 or 2 repulsors in it and 1 or 2 units of Blade Guard and Terminators in it, where's your long range anti-tank? Are you doing Gladiator Lancers? Are you doing Hammer Strike Speeders? Bear in mind that your repulsors are normal repulsors, not executioners, because you need the transport capacity. Where is your long range anti-tank? You've got servo turrets. I'm not sure they're the way to go. 75 points for 1. You've got eliminators. This is the good stuff that I'm thinking of, is eliminators, servo turrets, gladiators. ATVs also work quite well. I know they're only strength 9, but you can put down a lot of firepower with some ATVs, you know? 2 of every Gravis, Terminator and Dreadnought battle tank. 2 of every Gravis. Okay. Ballistas are tasty. Yeah, Ballistas, Lancer, Ballistas and Vindicators. Hammerfall Bunker, no. No one plays ever with a Hammerfall. I don't think I've seen a Hammerfall Bunker in the wild. Have you seen a Hammerfall Bunker in the wild? I saw it in Space Marine 2, but I've never seen it ever since. Long range anti-tank is the Lancer or the Ballistas Dreadnought. The Ballistas Dreadnought looks a bit derpy though, but he is chonk. Are we talking about a list with 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts, 2 Brutalis Dreadnoughts, and 2 Ballistas Dreadnoughts in it? Or the Lancer? Okay, so guys, imagine that I know what I'm doing and can write in the bottom in the poll section. We're doing a poll, okay? Don't make a Hammerfall Bunker list. It's not a challenge. Don't make one. Don't. It's just, you'll have a horrible time. No one buys them. They don't. Right. Okay. What was I talking about? Yes, poll. There's a poll now, and I need you guys to vote. A 1 for Ballistas Dreadnoughts and 2 for Lancers, Gladiator Lancers. This is the long-range Dakar. Ballistas Dreadnoughts or Lancers? Ballistas Dreadnoughts. 1 for Ballistas Dreadnoughts. 2 for Lancers. Also, someone needs someone to check the points on them. How many points is a Ballistas Dreadnought? How many points is a Lancer? So 1 for the Ballistas Dreadnoughts. 2 for the Lancers. If you were building a chonk army, what would you put in there? Would you put in a couple of Ballistas Dreadnoughts in the backfield going boom, 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 boom? Or would you have a couple of tanks floating around going boom, boom? What would you... And you had to pick one. This isn't a case of, oh, I'll put this in. This isn't a 3. I'm saying 1 or 2. No 3s or 7s. You're picking 1 and you're putting 1 in there. I say Father Christmas gave you these 2 things and you've got Space Marines. What would you like more? The 2 Ballistas Dreadnoughts or the 2... Lancers? And you go, gee, Father Christmas, thank you so much. A 1 or a 2? We have a 1, 1, 2, 3. Heresy, not L. 1, 1, 2, 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1.5, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so it's pretty much split then. Thanks, chat. It's a split decision all the way thing. The Ballistas is 130 and the Gladiator Lancer is 160. So the Ballistas is noticeably cheaper. I think if you're using repulsors for transport and have an Executioner for anti-tank, if you're using impulsors, then use a Gladiator for anti-tank. Gladiator is 3 tanks in 1. So more longevity. Gladiator is 3 tanks in 1? Oh, yeah, you mean for magnetizing options and things like that. Yes, yes, yes. Ballistas has better resilience per point compared to the Lancer, and the Ballistas is cheaper. Why is the Ballistas got better resilience per points compared to the Lancer? Why is that? But don't they both have 12 wounds? But if one's... And the Ballistas is cheaper as well. 30 points cheaper. 1 or 2? 2, 2. More people... 1, 2, 3, 1... There's a slight leaning towards Lancers then, but it's pretty split that you guys, it's roughly in the middle. You guys think a couple of Ballistas or a couple of Lancers is just as strong. What is good about the Ballistas? What is good about the Lancer? You have to pick one of them. Ballistas more tanky. Points are irrelevant. They change all the time. I know points are irrelevant. They change all the time, but generally speaking, if something is generally lower points than something, it generally stays lower points than something, right? So... You know, like Land Raiders are more expensive than Predators. They always will. You know what I mean? So if a Ballistas is cheaper than a Gladiator, it's going to stay cheaper than a Gladiator 9 times out of 10. It'd be unusual for those points to swing back the other way. Ballistas is back against a fresh target. Then use the Lancer to finish off the job. Let's face it, this is an army for aesthetic. Which one looks coolest? I think the Ballistas fits nicely. If you, yeah, Ballistas is a 2+ save. Lancer is a 3+ save. Ballistas is a 2+ save. Lancer is a 3+. Okay, so that's why the Ballistas is more resilient, because it has a better save. Remember this infantry. Walkers look cool. All the vehicles look ass. That's a good point. The vehicles, compared to Land Raiders and Predators, there's something a bit more hench about the first-born vehicles, isn't there? The boxy incompleteness of a Land Raider is what makes it perfect. The completely inappropriate, the Predators and the Vindicate, there's something blocky and hench. The new ones are a bit more, they're a bit cleaner, a bit smoother. They're not as grim in the dark, you know? They're not as grim in the dark. With that many tanks, you should take on a Thunder. Or make all your tanks wound better. Thunder Strike makes all your tanks wound better. Deep Strike. Gladiators are also. Lancer has. Lim T, thank you for your 20 months membership. Absolute legend. Thank you. Here, I thought that the celebrated winner of the No Retreat Legends 2021 would be able to pioneer a Hammerfall bunker list. Yeah. Build a list with 3 Hammerfall bunkers in. Here's some 100 points worth of stuff that never goes anywhere and never does anything. It just sits there. If they had rules that made them useful, like a proper whirlwind type, they would be good. And you could hit them in close combat automatically. But they had some kind of shielding. You have to get there, so you don't want to. There's things you could do with terrain. There are rules and things you could apply to terrain in 40k, but it's Games Workshop. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Put the turret of the Gladiator onto the chassis of a Sakaran battle tank. Looks awesome. Does it? The turrets of Sakarans just look awesome as it is, right? And they're the same size. So you're taking a Sakaran and you're putting a gladiator turret on top. That's a nice idea. And then you could run it as a gladiator. Right? Can you? Side sponsoons. 1 minute. You might be onto something here. Because gladiator turret on top of a Sakaran. And then the side sponsoons are their las or their missiles. That's a nice idea. And they're the same size. Look in Discord. I will, but not in the middle of a live stream. Damned Legion, thank you for your 1 month membership. Legend. 3 of each dreadnought and 3 armigers with 2 tech marines and a few chunky infantry support actions, says Dan. I'm leaning in on the dreadnoughts now. I'm leaning in, guys. You've done it. It's 2 ballistas. So we're getting 2 brutalis, 2 redemptors, 2 ballistas. That's a chonky list. That is, we're looking at the chonk right there, and that's a chonky list. We need Lancer, boo. Slash, I'm going to put Lancer in, /Lancer. It's just the visuals of the list, right? Someone puts down 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts, 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, 2 Brutalis Dreadnoughts, and some hench with that. How many Dreadnoughts is that? That's about 1,200 points of Dreadnoughts right there. We haven't got any points left over for anything else. No, yes, it's about 1,200 points. Maybe about 1,100. It's a nice idea, though. 1 Lancer, 1 Ballistus, that's fair. 1 of each tank is fair. But if I'm getting the tanks, then I'll get 2. So if I end up getting a Lancer, I'll get 2. And if I end up getting a Ballistus, I'll get 2. Because there'll be those occasions. You have one of them and you're like, damn, I wish I had another one. No, I don't want that to pop into my head at any point ever. When I'm playing with the things and I have fun with that and I have fun with that and this is going over here and I'm like, oh, it'd be great if I had another one of these. You know that feeling when you're playing 40k and you're like, that feeling you get and you're playing and you're like, I wish I had another unit of these striking scorpions, or I wish I had another winged demon prince right now, or I wish those ideas that pop into your head, like it'd be cool to do 2 of these. So I think whenever doing army collection, if you're collecting armies, not just lists, 2. Minimum 2. All of my Necron units, because I built the Necrons for a year, for an entire year, I've got a lot of 3 stuff, but I've got minimum 2, like 2 Doomsday Arcs, 2 Monoliths, 2 units of Scorpec Destroyers, 2 units of Locust Destroyers, 2 units of Ophidian Destroyers. I've got 3 Annihilation. No, I mean, there's a bunch of 3 stuff, but even 2 Flyers. I went 2 of everything. 2 units of Immortals, full units of 10 each Immortals. If there is stuff in my Necron collection, because I was building a collection, not a list, minimum 2 of every units. 2 Warlord Titans is a bit too much. Can always buy another. This is not how it's going to work. What's going to happen is in January or towards the end of December, at the end of this year, when I start getting the money together, the next year's project, 2025 project, will be to get this army together and send it to Den of Imagination to paint. Because they did the original Dark Angels army. So it's like, you guys paint this for me. And I think they'll definitely be up for that because it will feature on the channel a lot more than the heresy stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can trim the list down to 10,000 points by Christmas. I'll try. That game where you played 2 of each Necron unit was fun. Yeah, Yeah. Eamon, thank you for your donation. You absolute legend. Money to be only spent on a hammerful bunkers or the loft. Anyway, I've got to go back to work. You keep being awesome. Thank you. Can we have some W's in the chat for Eamon? Thank you so much. W's in the chat for £200. Thank you. Only on a hammerful bunkers or the loft. I'll put it in the loft fund, but massive W's in chat to Eamon. Thank you. We'll see where we get to next year. It's yes. fall next year, as they say in your country. If there's enough in the pot, we're doing it. If there isn't enough in the pot, what a legend. On my way to go vote. There's some sort of vote going on in America. No elections, no politics in this chat, guys. But yeah, go and practice your constitutional right and all that. Oh dear, where are we? No, I'm not getting 3 hammerfalls. He said only on the hammerfall or the loft. So there was he gave me an option. Caps boy, I love your horse heresy bat report. Nice. I like my horse heresy bat reports as well. To change the direction of the stream, I'm looking at getting to 30k. How would you start, seeing as you were talking about your Necron collection? Singers JD, I've got you, bro. So you're looking at getting to 30k. So you need to obviously read it and read the codex, read it. Next, it helps if you've read any of the narrative whatsoever, because then you've probably got an idea of what kind of legion you want. So let's assume that you've got an idea of, you're getting into heresy and you've got an idea of what kind of legion you want to get, or whether you want to get Mechanicum or Solar Auxilia or Custodes. We're assuming you know what direction you want to go in, because if you don't know what direction you want to go in, then that's a whole conversation to start off with, like, how do I start? Assuming you know where you're going, where to start then. Blackbriar Gaming I would go to. So in my community tab along the top where you see playlists and videos and all that, on the community tab you can scroll down on there. I shouted them out some time ago, or just not Google, but YouTube search bar Blackbriar Gaming. There's a lot of videos out there about how to get into heresy. There's the heresy channel. There's lots of YouTube videos on it. And when I was doing all my research, I gobbled thousands, Zulis, thousands of them. I gobbled loads of them up. And the ones that I found to be most concise, most to the point, and most helpful were these 20-30 minute gaming videos by Blackbriar Gaming. So go there. That helped me an awful lot, more than some of the other videos I watched. Start there. And then when you build a force, you're looking at, I used to say a minimum 3 line units. So there's only a certain number of units in heresy that can actually score. You don't need to score objectives all the time, because only 2/3 of heresy missions are scoring objectives. 1/3 isn't. But 2/3 of the time you're going to need scoring. And I used to say minimum 3 line units with the line keyword. I scratched that now. Minimum 5 units with the line keyword. That could be command squads or heralds with banners, or it could just be tactical marines or assault marines or recon marines or those sorts of things. So go to Blackbriar Gaming, check them out, and write lists with a minimum of 5 scoring things in it. Command squads work well. A herald with a banner attached to some terminators or attached to whatever you want to work well for that added line punch, resilience, and then scoring. Once you've got that sorted out, then you can build your legion on top of that with, depending on your legion, whether you're going all guns, or depending on your legion, whether you're going all assault, or depending on your legion, whether you're going all speed. And then just lean into what your legion does. That's how I would start. Lunar Walls, the first book. Yeah, okay. So, but you're going with Imperial Fists. Lunar Falls, the first book. If you're going with Imperial Fists, then a herald with a banner is a good idea. Imperial Fists can deep strike their terminators, very strong. Imperial Fists have access to Phalanx Warden squads, very strong. They're +1 to hit with bolters and auto weapons, very strong. So you're ideally with Imperial Fists making some chonky Terminator units that can deep strike into your opponent's backfield, because it's something they can do, and only they can. Well, there's a few legions that can do it, but not very many. So I'd lean into that mechanic, and I'd have some deep striking Terminators with a banner that score, that come down behind my opponent. It could be a command squad as well. And then I would have guns. and scoring units, and I'd protect those guns by my scoring units and have the Terminators push. And you want a couple of dreadnoughts as well. You know what I mean? Dreadnoughts are always good as well. But check out that thing. Recent Necron birthday. Yes, I'm glad, Marcus, you enjoyed the Necron versus 13th video. Thank you very much. It was a banger. It was gorgeous to play. It was lovely to play with Luton. He's I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of his work. I never miss a Luton video. He does awesome work. Do you guys watch all the Luton videos? I watch all the Luton videos. Heresy also have a fantastic video series on getting started into Horus Heresy. Yeah, the Heresy channel does. So like I said, there's a lot of people who do videos on how to get into Heresy. And search YouTube, find it yourself. But the ones that I thought were the most concise and to the point and useful were the ones by Blackbriar Gaming. So I shout them out a lot. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Got 19 likes, 50 people watching. A couple of likes, please. That'd be lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, can we go back to my list idea, please? I'm writing and thinking about building more Space Marines, and we've got 6 Dreadnoughts, 2 Repulsors. That's all we've picked so far, and 2 Judaseers. It's going to be 2 Brutalis, 2 Redemptors, 2 Ballistas, and maybe 2 Lancers, and 2 Repulsors. Now we need to think about infantry. If you're building a chonk list, what battle line do I have? None. So if we're building a chonk list, Gravis stuff, so it doesn't have to be chonk. So do we do, but because there's some chonk. So to add battle line, it could be heavy intercessors, or we could put assault marines in, and because to balance out the chonk, we need some lightness. And I was thinking scouts. Sounds like an Iron Hands list. It's not a list. It's more of a, yeah, at the moment it is. So yes, you're right. We need to do something about that. I don't want an Iron Hands list. Did the Sultan narrative game happen? Good question, Jackus Woods. Yes, we got a couple in there. We have started doing. Yes, there's more news on that coming soon. Assault Marines, jump intercessors for speed and maneuverability. That's what I'm thinking. Storm into element and demand all the chunk. I wish I could storm into element and demand all the chunk. Scouts, please. Yeah, so scouts or jump intercessors, or both. Because we need some battle line. And I like the idea of scouts, but I'm also... Jump intercessors is just so good, right? They're so quick. They're so maneuverable. With a chaplain, they can be quite scary as well. So we've got some hench, and we back it up with some jump intercessors. Or scouts. But jump intercessors also have some speed. Scouts are cheap and battle line and can get everywhere and got that deep strike, pick them up, put them back down again. But assault intercessors are more maneuverable. Phobos and scouts. Scouts, yeah. The one phase that you have complete control of the game is the movement phase. In the shooting phase, in the fight phase, and all those other phases, when you're rolling dice, you don't have 100% control because the dice gods take control and they screw you. The dice gods screw you, okay? Every single time, they screw you unless you're trying to make a feel no pain roll of 5 up and then you'll pass every single one. But apart from that, the dice gods will screw you. So the only time you have complete control of your army is the movement phase. That's where your tactical genius can come to the fore. That's why I'm thinking assault intercessors are a good thing. Sounds like close combat terminators needed. I've got them. We've got 10 close combat terminators and 10 standard terminators already. There's 20 terminators painted done. We're good. Neither jump intercessors or scouts are battle line. Jump intercessors are not battle line. And scouts aren't battle line. What are you talking about? Of course jump intercessors are battle line. They're intercessors. And scouts are about as battle line as it gets. Some legions, some chapters like the Black Templars have more scouts than they have Space Marines. What do you mean no? What the tournament crap is going on? Not giving scouts battle line. What the Heavy intercessors are the anvil. Jump intercessors are the hammer. Jump are not. Crazy, I know. Why? And heavy. So 1 minute. Intercessors are battle line. Heavy intercessors are battle line. But jump intercessors aren't battle line. That sounds like some heresy right there. So intercessors, intercessors, intercessors. But these ones don't get it. Why? Assault group. It's... Again... Like in heresy, you can have your tactical marines or assault marines, and they're both battle line. They're both line. It doesn't matter whether you put your guys in tactical armor or whether you put your guys in tactical armor and strap a rocket to their back. Either way, they're doing the same thing, which is score. Jump marines were always fast attack. You're right. In the old Force Org days, they were, weren't they? So basically, for battle line, scouts aren't battle line. It's going to be heavy intercessors. Intercessors, assault, and heavy intercessors and tactical squads are your only options for battle line. Intercessors, assault, and heavy intercessors. Stuart's saying assault intercessors and heavy intercessors are battle line. Stuart, I'm being told that assault intercessors are not battle line. It's just intercessors, heavy intercessors, and tacticals. Intercessors, assault intercessors, heavy intercessors... Intercessors, assault intercessors, heavy intercessors, and tactical squad only battle line. Oh, assault intercessors, not jump assault intercessors. You just know that in the next edition, there's going to be the intercessor data sheet and then the assault intercessor data sheet, and then the assault no, will they do it like a... I mean, it would make sense that they have assault intercessors and they are 100 points for 10, whatever, who cares, whatever the points are, or 150 points if you give them all jump packs and it's on the same data sheet and they do all the same thing, but they're moving and put it on one data sheet and make it assault intercessors, whether jump packs or not, on one data sheet, and just make their points different depending on whether they have jump packs or not. Okay, so battle line in the chonk list is heavy intercessors then, right? We're doing heavy intercessors there. It's a chonk list, heavy intercessors. Okay. So we've got a Brutalis, we've got some Redemptors, we've got a Ballistus Lancer, one of them. Okay, we've got some repulsors. We've got some heavy intercessors. Now we need some speed. Is the speed assault jump intercessors? Or is the speed bikes? Or is the speed jumpy Gravis dudes falling out? We need some speed to grab your secondaries and things like that. Where is the speed coming from? And I think jump intercessors is probably the cheapest and quickest amount of speed you can get, right? I'm so irritated that Games Workshop hasn't brought out new Assault Terminators. You know what's the Assault Terminator? You know this edition, they released Terminators, the new hench Terminators. You know what's going to come out in the next edition, right? 11th edition, it's going to have the new Assault Terminators that they've been sitting on for the last couple of years. They would have been done at the same time. They'd have been painted at the same time. They'd have been ready to go at the same time. But they were like, yeah, let's spread this out across a couple of editions. And the chonky Terminators this edition, the Assault Terminators in the next edition. We know they're going to do that. That's just classic Games Workshop. Drop pods, no. Jumpy Gravis best, no. Jumpy Gravis. Could be Jumpy Gravis. Inceptors and Jump Inceptors. Inceptors and Jump Intercessors. Assault Terminators and Vanguard Veterans for the 11th. Yeah. That's basically, yeah. We had Stern Guard and Terminators this edition. Next edition, it's going to be Assault Terminators and Vanguard Veterans for the next. We know that's what they're going to do. So, fast stuff. Fast stuff. If you had to add some fast elements to a Space Marine army to grab your secondaries, if you had to, what would you pick? These are cheap trade units or throwaway units, or they're basically secondary scorings. What do you pick? Do you pick Outriders? Do you pick, if you had to pick one unit or two, is it Scouts getting picked up and put back down again? Is it Outriders zipping around? Is it Jumpy Dudes dropping in? Is it Assault, Jump, Intercessors? What are your fast units to grab your secondaries, to get your containment points, to get you engaging on front points, to get behind enemy line points, to get you getting every single table bit points? Jump, Assault, Intercessors. Jump, Assault, Intercessors. They're just cheap, right? Reavers and the forward deploy Marines. Reavers is a nice. Assassins jump around. Reavers and the forward deploy Marines and Cursors. Yeah. Reavers are an interesting one. Well, which ones? Jump, Assault, Intercessors or Reavers? I'm putting Jump, Assault, Intercessors. My brain keeps going Jump, Assault, Intercessors. So we've got some heavy intercessors, we've got some jump assault intercessors, and we're backing this up with some dreadnoughts and punch and terminators. That's a pretty cool list. Some heavy intercessors in the backfield, some speedy guys jumping away, some dreadnoughts chonking forward. It's a pretty jumpy, boys. It's a pretty plain list, but I like plain lists. It's got some hench to it, it's got some speed to it, it's got some chonk to it. Do I think Outriders will go away in the near future? No. I think Outriders, they're definitely going to keep Outriders. And we're going to see more of them when the Raven Wing get upgraded. The Black Knights in the Raven Wing book are the old bike variant. As sure as Apples is Apples, Games Workshop will update that, the Black Knights, to the Outrider variant sprue type thing for the Dark Angels. That's coming. While they're at it, they should do something for White Scars as well. But I think Outriders are definitely... And it's going to be one of those packs where they add an extra sprue in it, because they only come with one weapon loadout. So in the future, you're going to see Outriders with different guns. Like when Intercessors came out, they didn't have any variants. And then they added the variants. This is what they do, right? They add the prues. And so Outriders need better weapons, and they're coming. Yes. Jumpy boys need a jumpy chaplain. Jumpy chaplain. You're right. Jumpy chaplain. The eternal hover bikes. So HQs now, guys. Now let's get filthy. Okay? All of you out there with a dirty mind. There's no Primaris Jump Chaplain yet. Isn't there? There's only Blood Angels ones, isn't there? They're chaplains in the thing with the thing. Okay, so no Jumpy Chaplain for now. I'll cross them off. These guys, Jump Assault Intercessors, there are just there to score points anyway. They're there to jump around and score points anyway. So filthy. I need you to get dirty, and I know quite a few of you have a very dirty mind, so this will be easy. HQs, okay? What HQs have got the most filth when you attach A to B? Where is the filth? So chaplains give you that re-roll charges. Sorry, captains, not great. Librarians, sustain hits is quite nice with a smite, but chaplains with +1 to wound in Terminator armor that's pretty hench. Or in normal armor is pretty hench. Evening James March from marchofwar.co.uk. Check out marchofwar.co.uk for all your scenery and resin bases and conversion bits that you need. Hi, Hunter Rickard. Hello and good day to you too. Thank you. Biologist. So the biologist putrefy. The biologist guy from the Death Guard. He's quite nice. Do you think that will expand on Dark Mechanicum for 30k, 40k in the future? They did do an expansion book for Dark Mechanicum in 30k, and it came out a couple of months ago. And I was just reading over there to grab it, but it's not there anymore. Yes, it is the Martian Civil War, but there's no new models in it, which is a pain in the... So that's all we're going to see for 30k. And then 40k, I would put a strong bet on Dark Mechanicum coming out in 2025. I think Emperor's Children Codex is coming out in 2025, and I think Dark Mechanicum is coming out in 2025 as well. I think so. Company Heroes that give you a captain and an ancient that can be used separately. That unit is also good. And Lieutenants. Company of Heroes. We've got a couple of people shouting out Companies of Heroes. So Company Heroes, because it does have an ancient with a banner, and it does have a captain in it. And I do like the idea of a Company of Heroes. What is it called, that data sheet? Is it called Company of Heroes? Company Heroes, what is it called? Literally the words. What is it? How do you name it? Because I do like the idea. It'll look cool, won't it? If we've got that gang hanging out on an objective in the backfield or something with a banner flapping away, it would look cool AF. So let's do the Company Heroes. What is the name of the data sheet exactly? Bueller? Is everyone else just Googling on their phone right now to find out what is it called? I need the Company Heroes thing. I'm going to get that. You're right. No one. So question mark on that one. And then what was the other suggestion you guys came up with? Lieutenants. There's a couple of people shouting out Lieutenants. So do we do Lieutenants? Company Herpes. They're called Company Herpes. They're not called Company... No idea. No one knows. Google says Company Heroes. Google's never wrong. Company Heroes. That would look cool. Because if the Company Heroes turn up, then I'd immediately add a name and a backstory for the heroes in the thing, right? Is it helpful to say I don't know? Yes. Do you think the Cerastus Knights will go the way of the Contemptor and the Leviathan eventually? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean in 40k? Contemptor and the Leviathan are legended in 40k, but they're not in Heresy and the Cerastus Knights. Do I think? Yes, I think anything that isn't designed... yeah, I mean, eventually... I mean, you say, do you think they'll go the way of these guys? Eventually. Everything that Games Workshop produces that isn't Primaris will be legended eventually. That's what they're doing, right? It's going well, Weasel. Thanks for asking. Dice, please. Thanks for checking. Damn Legion, I need to get dice. The front door latch broke today, so we had to get a guy come round and fix it and the thing. And it cost us 216 quid to fix the front door. Why? I don't know. But this whole bar thing came out with a gear cog modern front door has got more bolts in it than a bolt gun. Honestly, it didn't take him very long, but Jesus, I couldn't have done it myself. It was complicated. So that took, yeah. And then last month when I was going to get the dice, she spent, we don't mention that. I also booked some money for the hotels for the events next year. We did that. So I want to get the dice. I want to spend a chunk of money on some dice and get some dice and do the dice. And I know you're asking for dice and people want dice. But I need to do it in a month where I'm not stung so soon. Company Heroes, Ancient gives 0 OC and any character leading the squad gives play. Yeah, Company Heroes, I've got them on the list. I like it. I like Jump Assault Intercessors. I like the Company Heroes. You need those bolts in Swindon. We need the bolts in Swindon. Hello, Aaron K. What's good? We're talking, Aaron K, about adding to a Space Marine force. If you were adding, Aaron, to a brand new Space Marine army tomorrow, and you could get 2 units of anything, 2 of the same unit, what would you chuck in there? Legends only means banned in tournaments, not might play. I know. Yeah, it's Legends is just banned in tournaments and in Games Workshop events. You can use as much Legend stuff as you want in any other game. It's your hobby. You can play with what you want. You can make up, like Luton did. You can make up a card with your own name and the things on and your own rules. And if your mate's okay with it, play it that way. You can play it 2,500 points if you want. Play it that way. It's your hobby, your 40k. Play it your way. Blade Guard, Eradicators. Why not pre-order dice with us? Why not do a pre-order for dice? Pre-ordering dice sounds quite slightly complicated, doesn't it? It's like, okay, so if you pay, then I'll pre-order some dice. And then when I've got all the pre-orders in, then ship off for the dice and then wait for the dice. It sounds complicated, Jackus Woods. Someone is gonna screw up along the way. Me, you, someone, the dice manufacturer, something somewhere is gonna go wrong. So we're not gonna pre-order the dice. Blade Guard Eradicators. I need some Eradicators. I just need some Eradicators. Eradicators. I just need some Eradicators in my life. I want some ATVs in my life. Okay, Murphy's Law. What are we talking about? House rules rule. House rules do rule. So for my gun, we're looking at... Eradicators. ATV is good. Yeah, characters, guys. We're talking about characters. In your Space Marine list, what characters are you slotting in there? Is it lieutenants? Is it librarians? What is it? Lieutenants are cool. Lethal hits, and you can fall back. And put it's lieutenants. It is lieutenants. Lethal hits is good. And the ability to fall back, shoot, and charge again. They're just too good. Why would you not bring lieutenants? If you have a close combat unit, why would you not put lieutenants in there? Why? Anyone know why you wouldn't? The ability to fall back and then charge again if your opponent charges you, and then you can fall back, boom, boom, hit them back. But would you end up charging a unit with... We need a lieutenant in Terminator armor. That'd be really useful, wouldn't it? Mind you, they'd make his rule different, wouldn't they? It'd be good if Lieutenant in Terminator armor had the same rule, which is, hey, give Terminators lethal hits and the ability to fall back and charge. But they won't. A Lieutenant in Terminator armor will do something completely different than a Captain. A Lieutenant normally, like a Captain does one thing and then the Captain does another thing and then a Captain does. Captain with sword and shield and Judicia with 6 blade guard. Yes. Yes. Ancient one. So much utilities with lieutenants. There is. Yes. Lieutenants are good. And then I think some libbies. This is looking like a thing that I could do. Winters, come up with the next Primaris lieutenant. You heard it here first. There isn't enough lieutenants in 40k, right? There isn't enough. I mean, I don't think they've released a lieutenant stood on a rock now for at least 6 months. We need a lieutenant a month. We need a lieutenant with a jump pack. We need a lieutenant in Terminator armor. We need a lieutenant on a bike. Hell, we need a captain on a bike. We need a chaplain in with a jump pack. There's a bunch of characters. See, it should be a data sheet and it should say captain. And then the captain does this. And that's what it does. And then if you bring a captain in Gravis armor, it costs 20 points more expensive and it gets +2 toughness. If you bring a captain in Terminator armor, it gets this and this and it's X more expensive. And if you get a captain, and their weapon loadouts should be the whatever they want to take, and it should be one data sheet with, I don't know, that might be a bit too complicated with a captain. But a captain with jump pack, we need, yes, captain on a bike, yes. Captain on a bike will give, because Outriders was, imagine a captain and a chaplain. See, this is another thing you need. Like if we've got the company heroes on foot, there should be like a company heroes on bikes, like an OG command squad on bikes. So you've got your captain on a bike with an apothecary or chaplain on a bike or something with some zipping in there for the Raven Wing and for the White Scars. They never really did White Scars, did they? Games Workshop ever. I mean, we've never had Khan on a bike. And they've never really... We need a lieutenant peeking out of a window model, pointing. Yes. Terminators with Terminator Chaplain, wounding everything short of a warlord on 4 sounds decent. Yes. Yes. They do a chaplain. I said do. They do a chaplain in Terminator armor, right? That is a thing. But is it a thing? They do chaplains. Is there one in Terminator armor? No, there's a lieutenant. No, there's a librarian in Terminator armor, definitely. And there's a new, and we need, yeah, captain on a bike with a jump pack. Captain on a bike with a jump pack. Nice. Is there a chaplain in Terminator armor that they do at the moment? I'm fairly certain there is. I'm thinking about the old one that, like, Chaplain Snow was in the old armor. But I'm not sure if they do a Primaris-ified version of a chaplain in Terminator armor yet. I'll have to look at that one. So, do chaplains sounds like death? Red, yes. So, we're going to be adding to a new Space Marine force. I'm definitely going to be getting 2 Brutalis Dreadnoughts, 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts, 2 Judaseers to go with the Blade Guard, 2 Repulsors for the Blade Guard or the Terminators to go in, either 2 Ballistas or 2 Lancers. I think the Ballistas look a bit derpy, and I'm not sold on the Lancers either. So that one is my question mark. I need some battle line, so we're getting some heavy intercessors to add to the chunk. I need a banner in the list, so we're going to get some company heroes. I need some more chonks, so we're going to have some eradicators, and then we need some speed. So jump assault intercessors. Some ATVs are good. They're tough, they're quick, they can move block, they're a threat, you need to do something about it. And some lieutenants and some librarians. What chapter? You know my old Dark Angels 2021 No Retreat Legend and Legend Champion list? That list. That's just a list at the moment. We need to add to that collection. And it's a Primaris only force. Because the 13th are mainly Firstborn. Though I do have a lot of Primaris as well. But all the new stuff. More plasma. Always like librarian dreads. Yeah, so that's what we've got in there. So we're going to have a chunk of different dreads. We've got some punch. I don't know if there's any use. I don't know how useful it will be, but how much money is that? That's a lot of money. If you want to become a tier 3 channel member, or any kind of channel member at this point, it would really help me with my new Space Marine project. Or in the run up to Christmas, what you can do is, if you're buying any Games Workshop stuff, click on the links in the video description when you buy stuff through Element Games, and don't forget to use the code WIN13. Do that. It'll help me out an awful amount, or gifted sub right now would be useful as well. Something like that. And then in December, I can start piling together the new bits. These are definitely coming. Send them off to Den of Imagination. I'm not getting Hellblasters because I've got a chunk of them in the 13th. I think I've got like 25 Hellblasters in the 13th. I went a bit crazy. You know, when they first started releasing them in 8th edition, let's face it, it's taken them like 10 years to trickle out all the Primaris stuff. Or most of the Primaris stuff. At the start, there wasn't much you could play with. So, I've got loads of them. Sternguard, no. No, not the Sternguard. I've got, again, new stuff. I've had Sternguard. I want new stuff. Like Eradicators, Company Heroes, Jump Assault, Intercessors, Heavy Intercessors. We haven't had these before. The new speeders are pretty nice. Desolation Squad. They look a bit derpy, don't they? Sternguard are new. The models are new, but Sternguard have been around since 6th edition, and they used to be so much cooler. They used to have different ammunition, and you could pick which ammunition type you fired each turn, whether you wanted to fire Kraken rounds, or Hellfire rounds, or Inferno rounds, or the standard rounds, and you'd pick and say, I'm firing Hellfire rounds this time around, or I'm firing this time around. They used to do that. that was the coolest rule they had. Now they have some nice guns. You know? It was Deathwatch. They did Deathwatch before Deathwatch was cool. Before Deathwatch even did it with their different... Deathwatch different ammunition? When Sternguard lost that rule, they gave it to Deathwatch. I'm not going to ally some Imperial agents in. You had... I'm talking about there. I might ally some Imperial agents in later. But I'm talking about the core list that I'm going to build the chapter around, You had a game against Sultan a couple of months ago. He was using salamander rules with pyre blasters that were very painful. He was. Yeah. Pyre blasters are interesting. But we've got the dreadnoughts, we've got the company heroes, eradicators, ATVs, lieutenants, librarians. Someone said something else. The speeders. That's what I was going to ask. What are the best? So there's the 3 types of speeders. What is the best one? I'll get 2 of them as well because they do look cool. Like there's the anti-infantry one. Then there's a tank one, and then there's one that if you shoot a thing, it benefits the rest of your army for shooting a thing. Am I going to have to get the card? Soul Hunter, thank you for your donation, for your new Space Marine army. Buy more Mechanicum. Thank you. Absolute legend. The Hammerhead, no. Thank you, Soul Hunter. I appreciate it. Yes, good. I will. Mechanicum. I don't need... See, I was thinking about buying more Mechanicum, seeing as you asked me, by the way. I was thinking about buying more Mechanicum for the Heresy, but... Of all the new plastic stuff they released, I don't need any of it. I want it, but I've got a chunk of Castellax. I've got a chunk of Thalax. I've got 4 Thanatar. I'm waiting. I do want more Mechanicum. I am going to buy more Mechanicum, but I'm waiting for the new plastic kits with Domitars in it, or Myrmidon Secators in it, or something anything other than the plastic that they've released so far for Mechanicum. I'd be all over. It's just that I've got all of it. Thunderstruck, anti-tank. I had 5 jump assault, 1-shot Abaddon, and 4 Termes in 1 combat. What? What's the one that gives buff? A hammer strike close anti-tank. Do they make speed lieutenants? I don't think they make speed lieutenants. Lieutenants. So we're talking the Thunderstrike Speeder or the Hammer Strike Speeder. Which one's better? The Hammer Strike or the Thunderstrike? Where is my codex? Let's have a good... let's 1 minute. Please stand by. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. No one touch any of those buttons at the back. Okay? Behave. Did anyone touch a button? Did anyone touch the buttons? Don't touch the buttons. Don't touch the big red shiny buttons. Hail strike anti-infantry. What's it? Don't touch the buttons. It could be nuclear detonation. Don't touch the shiny. Don't touch that. Otherwise the thing goes faster and careens off and you get a deadly demise result. Hammer strike negates cover. Thunder strike improves wounding. Hail strike is weaker but improves AP. Depends on what role you need. Yo, Winters, good evening. Hi, Just Craig. Thanks for dropping in. Just Craig, we're still floating away. Thank you. I'm checking some things, Just Craig, but welcome to the stream. Did the podcast change ahead 2D6? No. What happened, BC, is the clocks changed in this country. That's what happened. So the time where you are might be different than the time that's here. No, the time where you are might be the same, but the time that where we are is different from the time it was when it was. You know what I mean? Don't press the buttons, Aaron. Never take Hellstrike, you have anti-infantry. Never take Hellstrike, you have anti-infantry. The clocks are... What do you mean, never take Hellstrike? So a Hellstrike has a Frankstorm grenade launcher, pants, an Onslaught Gatling cannon, and twin Iron Hail heavy stubber. Is that all it's got? So a twin Iron Hail heavy stubber and a Frankstorm grenade launcher is on the Invictus Warsuits, and they never do anything. And I know this because I've got a couple of Invictus Warsuits. And the Onslaught Gatling cannon is... That is pants. Okay, the Hellstrike one is terrible. And all these things, by the way, Hellstrike shit. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. Just Craig, you're in Spain. What are you doing out there, mate? Are you okay? Did you get lost? Took a left at the roundabout instead of a right. Hope you're having a nice time. All these things like remove cover, do this, do that. Are they going to be there in the next edition? You know, like each time this model is shot, selective and then improve your AP when you do, or this +1 to wound. Are they going to still be like that in the next edition, or are they going to drop all of them? Do you remember when like aggressors could fire twice? That was their thing. And he brought aggressors along, and then they shot, and then they shot again, and they were absolutely brutal. Now aggressors never do that anymore. It's like when they release the new thing, they give them some rules to make them mean, and then everyone gets them. And then a couple of years in, they lose all those rules because everyone's got them. So it's about the guns. Thunderstrike has Storm Fury missiles and a Thunderstrike Las Talon, which for some reason strength 9 for a Las Talon. And twin Icarus rocket pod. That's quite interesting. Storm Fury missiles has got 1 attack. It hits on 2s. And a Thunderstrike Las Talon has got 2 attacks. And it hits on 2s. And each time when the start his unit makes a ranged attack that targets the enemy, add 1 to the wound roll. Interesting. And then the Hammer Strike has got the Hammer Strike missile launcher, which has got 2 shots. And the Crackstorm grenade launcher, which we're ignoring. Actually, no, that's strength 9, D3 a time. And the Melter Destroyer. And that's 3 shots. So the Thunderstrike is your ranged anti-tank. And the Hammer Strike is your short-ranged anti-tank. Is that what we're saying? Thunderstrike best of range and +1 wound. +1 to wound, yeah. So the Thunderstrike has got Storm Fury missiles and a Storm Fury Las Talon. And if you add the missiles and the Las Talon, it's only 3 shots, but it's a lot of range. And if you hit a monster or vehicle, then the next time you shoot at the monster or vehicle, you get +1 to wound. That's nice. The Hammer Strike, it's Melter Destroyer and its Hammer Strike missile launcher is 5 shots, but it hits on 3s and it is a much shorter range. Because you want to get in Melter Destroyer range. And you ignore cover. I think the speeders are pretty easy to magnetize for future proofing. You're probably right. They could just be easily magnified. You're almost 100% right. All of them have utility with their abilities, but Thunderstrike seems more versatile. I think Thunderstrike is the only one that hits on 2s. I like Thunderstrikes. I like the idea of some back... Right, it's got 11 wounds. Things I'm learning about this codex. 11 wounds. A little speeder like that. That's definitely going down in the next edition as well. 11 wounds. A Dreadnoughts of 12. How does this thing have 11 wounds? Yeah, it needs like 10. What they should do is drop the wound count. Drop the toughness. Say instead of toughness 9, 11 wounds. Make it toughness 8, 8 wounds. Hear me now. Toughness 8, 8 wounds. But cut half of the points off. So it's easy for you to pick them up quite easily. You can shoot them, you can kill them quite quickly. And they're really... And then they move around. And it's not too bad if you're going against them because you can take them down quite quickly. But you've got these faster things. What do we... I like... yeah. A bit weaker. Movement 14 as well. I'd make them quicker. Movement 16. Go toughness 8, 8 wounds, movement 16. Make them really quick, but really light. And then cut the points all the way down. Thunderstrike Speeder. 2. What do we think of that idea? Am I a genius? Am I talking genius? All of them have utility. I think, yeah. People could play Heresy. That game is what? Just Craig, stop throwing grenades in the chat. Thunderstrike. 2 of them. Speeders. See, we put in the Ballistus and the Lancer earlier on into this collection, and I'm liking the Thunderstrikes or the Hammer Strikes more than I'm liking the Ballistus and the Lancers. See, I'm thinking for my Daka, have ATVs and Thunderstrikes. Because the Thunderstrike hits a thing with its range stuff, and then the ATVs are only strength 9. But if they shoot the thing that the Thunderstrike thing shot, then they get +1 to wound with strength 9 melters. So that helps you with the melter problem. The melter problem being the low strength sometimes doesn't wound the thing that you shoot at. If it does wound the thing that you shoot at, melters do a lot of damage at AP -4 with D6 +2 damage and things like that. Melters are really good if you get in there and crack that thing. They can hurt, but it's the hurt part, you know? I'm not a big fan of dreadnoughts that don't have hands either. It doesn't make sense to, well, it does. It's just, I want my dreadnought punching stuff, you know? 2 Thunderstrikes instead of Ballistus Dreadnought. Yeah, damn Legion, I think you're right. Tinky Yoko. Really enjoyed that game on Sunday, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the game on Sunday against Luton09 from Luton09 YouTube channel. He's a legend. I really enjoyed that game. He really enjoyed that game. That was good fun. We made some narrative decisions as well. I mean, one's in chat if you saw the Sunday's game. I'm going to take my head out of the writing things. We've got enough on here. We've got enough on there. But what was I going to say? No, that's it. And yeah, one's in chat if you saw the thing. Yeah, good. I'm glad you did. Many ones. Jacques Woods from France. Tinky Yuko from Korea. Red Richmond from Richmond. Shoddy Pockets. Narrative decisions. Yes, that's the thing. Yes. So we were trying to make narrative decisions throughout that game. So Luton picked up his Warlord and deep struck him in right in front of my Terminators, which isn't the wisest thing to do, but that's exactly what that character would do. So that's what Luton did. And I deliberately didn't drop my drop pods in turn 1, go boom, boom, to block him back in the corner and then bring all. I didn't want to do that because he hadn't left the tomb complex yet. So I was waiting for him to spread out, and I felt like the pods, I wanted that, you know, chapter beats. Like we have the tanks and the dreadnoughts on the table in turn 1. Turn 2, the drop pods come down. Turn 3, the rest of the stuff comes down. So those narrative decisions like boom, 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 that staggered thing, I think that worked really well rather than chuck it all down and overwhelm the story straight away off the bat. Like here's that's no good. And him picking up his Warlord and dropping it down in front of my mind, that was really cool as well. Coming with the Void, not the Void Dragon. Yes, the Void Dragon, and zipping around the backfield to try and take that generator. That was a nice narrative decision as well. He was constantly making decisions based on the story. And I was trying to do that too. So I think in the end, it told quite a nice story. It turned into quite nice battle reports. Love Luton. I love him too. Yeah. Anyone here have any news on Voldemort? I have no news on the Voldemort. I did hear that Voldemort's channel got hacked. But, and then Valrak was talking about it last night. But I know nothing other than that. I know as much as you guys know, and I wish him all the best. And hopefully he gets it all sorted at some point soon. The problem is communicating with YouTube. Every time I've communicated with YouTube, it's been bots, and you can tell it's bots. I mean, it's, yes. So good luck with that. I'm sure we'll be fine. Lost everything social media wise. I mean, it's his livelihood as well, right? It's his job. He does it for a job. Voldemort, I think, like me. It's like losing your entire job and your ability to make money, your ability to pay the rent, your ability to... That is harsh. I really feel for him. I hope everything gets sorted out. To be continued, I guess. Yeah. Wow. Wow, damn Legion. Way to bring everyone down. Great. Oh no. Imagine if everything got stolen. Everything has been stolen from Voldemort. Thanks, damn Legion, thanks. At least it's not me. No. I'm pleased it's not me, but I'm not pleased. It's just, I shouldn't, you shouldn't. You can't be mean. You've got to be nice. Because I could be in exactly the same position next week and it would all go. It'd be horrible. At least it's not me. It's like when you see someone fall down the stairs. You're like, well, at least it wasn't me. I like it when people fall over, though. It's funny. That's my level of humour. Watching children fall over is funny. Or old people. It's hilarious. Dear fart jokes. That's my level of humour. The simple things. The things that would amuse a 2-year-old amuse the crap out of me. Okay. Thank you for helping me get to this together, by the way. I've written some stuff down, look. Dark humour. I'm in toilet humour, So, we've written this down. We're going to be getting some dreadnoughts. We're going to be getting some repulsors. We're going to be getting some thunderstrike speeders. We're going to be getting some heavy intercessors and some jump assault intercessors. And some eradicators and ATVs. I think... I don't know if it will work with lieutenants and librarians and Judaseers in there as well. I don't know if it'll work, but there's definitely a couple of lists in there. There's definitely a more assaulty based list. There's definitely a more shooty based list. But yeah, I think that's definitely something we can work on next year. Get this together. 2 Redemptors, 2 Judaseers, 2 Repulsors, 2... Yes, this is definitely something we can work on next year. Probably going to need some bikes in it as well. Probably. Back up everything on an external H drive that's not connected to the net. I don't know how to do that. I still can't believe you don't have all these miniatures. I don't have all these miniatures already. I've got... So... Of all the armies I've got, damn Legion, we're talking about Primaris Space Marines, adding to the Primaris Space Marine things. And I've got some Primaris Space Marines added to the 13th. And then that's it. All the other stuff is like Orcs and Death Guard and Necrons and Admech and Grey Knights and Knights and Tyranids. So when stuff comes out, it's a bit into this and a bit into this and a bit into this and a bit into this. And also, 2 years ago, I only had one Horus Heresy army, which was my Mechanicum. Now, 2 years in, I have 7 Horus Heresy armies. 2 years in, we're smashing through the Iron Hands project. There'll be a video going up at the end of the year, like these are all the Iron Hands that I painted in 2024. I don't know how many points that we've got up to, but there's a lot of them. And I'm looking at the 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts over there. So we're building and building. So yeah, when it comes to stuff for the Primaris Space Marines, it's... When all the stuff was coming out for the Primaris Space Marines, most of it that Games Workshop gave me, I gave to Sultan. I want to say 99% of it I just gave to Sultan, because the guy is a machine and he'll get it all painted straight away. And then you guys get to see it on the channel straight away. So that's what was happening there. A lady fell over in the wind the other day. Groceries all over the street. She laughed. What a gal. Nice. Is the 13th only firstborn? No, the 13th is about 80% firstborn. 5 years into 40k and I'm on my 5th army. Lol. Exactly. That's what happens. You're 5 years in and 5th army. A new army, new year. But yeah, so when all the new stuff was coming out, like the Ballistus Dreadnoughts, he got them. Like all the Blood Angels, Games Workshop were kind enough to send me the big Blood Angel box set with all the new stuff and the codex. So what I did was, did the codex review for the codex and got those videos done and then gave that to Sultan. And by the time he came around like 3 days later to film the battle report, he was all painted anyway. And we filmed it and put it up on the channel for the Blood Angels release. And we did those 2 battle reports, like one with his OG list and one with all just the Death Company guys. And so if I give it to Sultan, it will get done and you guys get to see it on the channel anyway. So yeah, almost all the Space Marine stuff that they ever send me goes to Sultan. And now I'm beginning to regret that decision, because now I need a bunch of Space Marine stuff for my new chapter next year, which we'll get to. Sultan, what a guy. Absolute legend. So yeah, you helped me with this. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I am going to keep that safe somewhere in a minute. We'll put it over there. And I'm going to say goodbye in the next 2 minutes. So this is your 2-minute warning. Damn Legion has got Deathwing, Thousand Suns, CK, no idea what that is. Tzeentch Demons, NIDS, loads. 5 years you've added to a lot of stuff. Thanks, Just Craig. Tomorrow, there's a sweaty match. So after the Luton extravaganza on Sunday, I needed a palate cleanser. So I did a sweaty 2,000 point game with Dark Angels Chris. We did the Eldar versus the Grey Knights some time ago, and I wanted to run that back. So we ran that back. So there's a sweaty one tomorrow. Then on Sunday, there's a Horus Heresy battle report coming out. It's either going to be against Riftforge Studios or it's going to be against James from marchofwar.co.uk. I think it's the Riftforge Studios one on this Sunday. I think the one with James is coming out on the 1st of December or the 24th of November, something like that. 24th, it's coming out in 2 weeks' time. Yes, so it's the Riftforge Studios. So that's what's coming soon. It is the sweaty one tomorrow. It is the Heresy one on the weekend. There's a couple of videos coming out in the week. Any new Mug Club members, guys? Any new Mug Club members? That's what Jackus Woods wants to know. Jackus Woods from France wants to know. Any new Mug Club members? If you're coming up to Christmas and you want to buy a new mug for a friend, a family member, consider joining the Mug Club, supporting your friendly neighborhood YouTube channel. Damn Legion, thanks for the awesome stream. Was it? Thank you. Thank you for saying it was an awesome stream. All my stuff goes to my pile of shame. All my stuff mainly goes to Sultan. Piles of shame I'm pretty good with. If I buy stuff, I get it done. I used to have piles, just like you guys. Used to have piles. If you have piles, there is a medical fix for it, which is don't buy piles. Just get the stuff that you know you're going to do. So all the stuff here I know I'm going to do, ish, sort of. Yeah, no problem, Scotty. 6 chips. Yeah, it's a nightmare out there at the moment. Hang in there. So yeah, so those are the videos that are coming up. The other thing that's happening is I put up a Starlock reveal trailer for Den of Imagination the other day, and a bunch of people asked for some gameplay footage of the Starlock board game. So I've got some of that from Den, and I'm going to edit into it, and we'll put that up. So that's coming this week as well. Also, the STC podcast, which should have been out on Friday, but someone who will remain unnamed screwed up. So there was technical difficulty. It's all been fixed. It's been fixed. That one's going to come out on Wednesday as well. So on Wednesday, there'll be 2 videos. There'll be the STC for free for everyone, and the battle report on the members, not for everyone, just for members, tier 3 channel members. So that's coming. The Starlock reveal trailer, that's coming. There was another thing that's coming. Damn it, and I forgot what it is. But we'll talk about it in another live stream. And yes, I've started filming that narrative series with Sultan. That's coming as well. Lots of things coming. Lots of things coming. I'm not coming. I'm going. I'm going. It's been emotional. That was fun. Thanks for helping me through that list and things. I do appreciate it. Happy Wargaming.